Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
These are tough times, and they're getting even tougher. The clock is ticking. The countdown to collapse is well underway. What are you going to do about it? Will you just wait for it to happen, or will you be ready when it happens? The decision is yours, and yours alone. Join myself, Mickey Fulp, Robert Ian, David Morgan, Jeff Berwick, Elijah Johnson, Alan Butler, Gregory Manarino, Daniel Amaduri, Andy Hoffman, Tekoa Da Silva, Trace Mayer, one of the world's leading Bitcoin authorities, Bix Weir, Jay Taylor, and Gary Christensen at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium in Las Vegas on February 21st and 22nd, and learn how to create your plan to survive the collapse. The last Liberty Mastermind Symposium was one of the most highly rated conferences ever, and this one promises to be even better. Don't miss it. Join us and register now at libertymastermind.us. libertymastermind.us. This one is going to be out of this world, and it's going to be even better because it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to Liberty Mastermind US and sign up today. You are listening to the FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1230 WBZT. You know, so much of life boils down to telling stories. You get home from work, you're there with your wife, your kids, or your husband and your kids. And what do? You sit down around the dinner table, you tell them stories about how the day went, about business, about getting to work, about getting home from work. Well, why not tell good stories to the people who you're trying to do business with? Because it'll make all the difference. You'll be surprised what a difference it'll make in your success. That's why we've got Mark Satterfield on with us now. You know him from his book, Unique Sales Stories, How to Attract More New Clients and Customers Through the Art of Stories. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of our interview, because he's got a special offer for you that you're really going to want to take advantage of. Mark, I'm really happy that you're back with us on the show.
Well, thanks for having me back. We had fun the first time, and great to be back, especially at this holiday season.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're sharing the holiday cheer. You know, hey, this is just a great time of year. It's really my favorite time of the year. Even though I'm working straight through, I'm taking some time out with the family. I hope you're going to do the same, because, hey, if you can't have fun this time of the year, when are you going to have fun?
Very, very true. Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun around Christmas, and actually this year going to go to Las Vegas for New Year's Eve. So that should be an interesting story to tell.
Well, you know, they have an incredible fireworks display New Year's up and down the Strip. It's really worth seeing.
Well, I figure it's going to be one of those wonderful once-in-a-lifetime experiences. So I'm typically somebody who has a hard time staying up to see the new year usher in. So this will be this will be a great story to tell. Hopefully when I get back.
Hey, well, I'm looking forward to reading or hearing that one, because there's it's kind of the dead time of year in Vegas, but for New Year's, like a couple 100,000 people pour in from California, from all over the place, and it's packed. And I think you're going to enjoy it, as long as you don't mind crowds.
No, I think it's going to be a good time.
Definitely. So, what stories you got for us here, Mark?
Well, my focus is helping the 20 million small business owners out there differentiate themselves, get more customers, get more clients. And in the 20 years that I've been doing this, the biggest frustration that I hear is, how can I differentiate myself from all the other people who do work that is basically pretty similar to what I do? And you have people that will spend a lot of money on advertising, people spend a lot of money designing a logo, people spending a lot of money on a lot of different things. And unfortunately, they don't get much from it. People still don't remember who they are or what they do. But what people do remember is people remember great stories. And I'm just a passionate believer, and this is the reason why I wrote the book, that if you can create a great story or stories about your business, about yourself, about the problems that you solve for customers and clients, it's probably the easiest way to differentiate yourself and, as a result, get a lot more brand new customers and clients, get a lot more referrals, and really see your business grow. So if I was a small business owner and I was thinking about what I wanted to do to grow my business in 2014, what I'd be doing between now and the first of the year is developing some really great stories that I could then put up on my website, put in my sales letters, use in my one-to-one presentations. And if you did that, I firmly believe that your business would grow in the upcoming year.
Hey, and when you get down to it, a testimonial by a client is really just a story. And looking at your site, Mark, your biography is really just your own personal story, perhaps about your life, a portion of your life, what you're doing. Like I'm looking at your biography, and it says you did consulting work, and you wrote over 250 articles for various publications, newspapers like the L.A. Times and the Atlanta Constitution, right? I mean, it's just your own personal story, right?
Absolutely. And you raise a good point, and it's a real missed opportunity. Most of us just don't appreciate the fact that our customers, our clients, our prospective customers and clients, they're really curious about us. They're interested in terms of how we started off doing what we're doing, the frustrations we faced. Especially someone like myself, I think one of the things that has made my company successful as a marketing consultant is that when you read the bio, you learn that, hey, I'm not much different than the other small business owners who are trying to grow their business. I mean, I made all the mistakes. My wife used to say it'd be great if you got it right the first time just once. But from a practical standpoint, the fact that I can tell a story and talk about the frustrations I had, the dreams I had for my business, how I overcame those obstacles and ultimately found success, people are able to relate to that. And that's a real key if you're a small business owner and entrepreneur, is that you want to be able to make your prospective clients, your prospective customers to be able to relate to you. And how we do that is we do that through the power of stories.
Yeah, it really is powerful telling a good story, isn't it?
Well, it is. And some of us, of course, are naturally good storytellers. Some of us are lousy storytellers. But I'm a believer that everybody can be a pretty good storyteller as long as you follow a pretty simple structure. And if you like, if you think your listeners would be interested, I'd be happy to share that structure with you.
Yeah, please do. For sure. I'm curious myself.
Okay. Well, a way of telling a great story, especially if we're doing it from a business standpoint, is we start off with the problem. What's the problem that your prospective client faced for which you have a solution? So we start off talking about a particular problem. Now, we need to make our listeners or our readers care about the problem. We have to make this a big rather than a small problem. So what we want to do when we're talking about the problem is not just to say, Jim had a problem with not enough new sales. We want to expand on it. And the way we expand on it is by including consequences. And consequences are simply what happens if the problem isn't solved. So we start off our story by talking about problems. We then focus in on consequences, and that makes our listener, reader, viewer interested in or starting to be able to say, yes, this is a problem. Maybe I didn't think this was as big a problem as it is, but maybe this is something I should really be paying attention to. After we talk about problems and consequences, we want to talk about alternatives, because usually there's a variety of different kinds of solutions that we might want to implement in terms of achieving this. Now, of course, small business owners have a particular solution, and we want people to select our solution, but this gives us an opportunity to, as we say, kill them with kindness by talking about other solutions that they might consider taking advantage of, but perhaps are better served not doing so. So we talk about alternative solutions, then we talk about our particular solution, and then we wrap it up with the results that they got. So if you think about a story structure as problems, consequences, alternative solutions, your solution, and then results, that's a great way of creating a business story that will get people engaged, interested, and in a lot of cases picking up the phone, calling you to find out more about how you can actually help them.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Never thought of it that way. So first you start out with the problem, then you go to solution, and we kind of progress from there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Problem, consequence, alternative solutions that they probably shouldn't do because we want them to do our solution. So problem, consequences, alternative solutions, your solution, and then results.
And then results, huh? Huh. It's pretty cool. So you have a whole outline there, huh?
Yeah. And, the problem with a lot of stories is they meander. They kind of go off on tangents, and, we've all had situations of, going, Jesus, what in the world is this person talking about? And the way that you avoid that is by thinking about this structure. And this structure will keep you focused, keep you oriented towards a particular goal. And that's particularly important if you're going to use stories in a live presentation, which, of course, is something that you should be doing because audiences love stories. You and I were talking before we went on the air about, Rush Limbaugh, love him, hate him. You remember him. And why do you remember him? Well, because of the stories he tells. So the more that you're telling stories, the more you're going to be remembered. And that's really the name of the game, especially from a business standpoint. The biggest thing that kills small businesses is the fact that you get stuck in the middle of the proverbial bell-shaped curve, and people just don't remember you. And as a result, you not only don't get the customers and clients you want, you don't get the referrals. So if I have a friend of mine who does philanthropic fundraising, and I remember he told me a story once that you can create an advertisement about the millions of starving children in Africa, and people will turn the page. But if you tell me the story about a 6-year-old child named Peter who is living on the streets and is forced to eat bugs to survive, you'll bring out your checkbook. Mm-hmm. And it's very true. Because
that's like Sally Struthers. Remember when she used to do that whole Africa thing and adopt a kid, right? Right. Adopt a child, feed him for a year.
Right. Yeah. The more that we have our stories be about specific individuals, the more that you paint the picture about an individual who looks surprisingly like the type of individuals that you're trying to do business with, the more effective your stories will be. But again, it's an underutilized tool, partially because people think that they're not going to be good storytellers. But if you follow the structure that I discussed, you will be a fine storyteller. And second of all, people just don't think that others will be interested in the stories they have to tell, but in fact they will be. I talk to a lot of clients, especially when we're for example, doing their website, and we get to the part where we create the About Us page, the bio page. And I had a fellow by the name of John as a client. He runs a company that sells annuities. And he said, Mark, I'm this annuity salesperson, and nobody's interested in annuities. I mean, nobody's interested in insurance. This is ridiculous. And I said, you'd be surprised about how people will be interested in how you got involved in this. And of course, you can track how long people spend on certain pages. And that bio page that talks about John and his background, where he grew up in Texas, and how his family lost their retirement money because they invested in speculative stocks, and that got him interested in annuities because annuities provide a higher rate of return without the risk of more speculative stocks, and that got him involved in the annuity world. And even though he makes a good living through annuity products, it's more than that to him. It's really a mission for him. That story resonates with people. And so now he has become much more than just a guy selling annuities. He's a guy who people can relate to, who can really understand where his passion for this particular financial product comes from. And, there's lots and lots of people that sell annuities. But John is very successful. He's one of the top people in his particular niche in the annuity market. And a lot of that success goes to the fact that people can relate to him. People can understand why he's doing what he's doing. And whether you're a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, the same rule applies. People are interested in why you got into what you are doing. And the more you tell an interesting story about that, the more people will start to like you. And as we know, in terms of persuasion, it's all about the classic know, like, and trust. And so stories get you known. They get people to like you, and through that process, they also trust you. And those are the people then, of course, who will do business with you. So again, it's a little tool. People tend to dismiss it, but for those people who put a focus on it and create stories about themselves, about, as you mentioned before, the success that other people have had as a result of working with them, creating a variety of stories, those people are the ones that really succeed.
That makes total sense. And even in explaining to us how powerful storytelling is, you've been telling us stories to prove the point. And I think if anyone doubted what you were saying before we started talking about it, they can't be doubting it now.
Well, stories are fun also. There's enough boring stuff out there. We don't need any more people telling, boring stuff to others. And quite frankly, most of us just really aren't in terribly sexy businesses. If I was a
yes.
if I was a cinematographer working on big blockbuster films, that'd be one thing. People would just be naturally interested in what I do. But, I'm a marketing consultant here in Atlanta, and, there's a gazillion real number of us, running around. And for most people, except for other marketing geeks, what we do isn't terribly interesting. And so as a result, the biggest challenge that all of us have, whether we're marketing consultants or insurance people or shop owners or candlestick makers, is how can we make what we do interesting? How can we make people care about it? And the answer again goes back to stories.
Exactly. So, hey, tell us about the offer that you have for us here. What are we looking at here? What's in it for us? Tell us a story about what you've got here.
Well, I am very passionate about serving and helping the 20 million small business owners be successful. I mean, that really is what I've been working on, for the last 15, 20 years. And as you can tell, I'm also a big passionate believer in the role of stories. Now, I wrote a book called Unique Sales Stories, and the book came out about 2 years ago. It's done very well. Went to number one in its category at Amazon on 2 separate occasions, so I'm very proud of it. But more than that, what I passionately believe is that if I and you can help people become better storytellers, their businesses are going to grow and thrive. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to make an offer to your listeners for a free copy of my book, Unique Sales Stories. So let me tell you where you go to get this. Now, this is just for your listeners, so I would appreciate it, of course, if you kind of keep this URL to yourself. I'm happy to make this free offer to your listeners, but I do have to have money to buy Christmas presents. So, but if
all right, be a Grinch.
If people will go to Unique Sales Stories freeoffer.com, they can get themselves a free copy of the book.
Oh, cool. Is that an ebook, or how's that work?
Well, we're going to give them a free copy of the ebook, but it is it's the exact same content as the paperback. If they want to go and get the paperback, which would be also lovely, they can do so at Amazon. But we're going to send you an electronic copy for free.
All right, that is pretty cool. And just give the URL again.
Unique Sales Stories freeoffer.com. So it's stories, STORIES, freeoffer.com, Unique Sales Stories freeoffer.com, all one word, no hyphens. And you'll get to a page with my smiling face on it. Just put in your name and your email, and we'll send you that book.
Hey, that is really very nice of you, Mark. And hey, can't thank you enough for that. And of course, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. We'll have a link to the free offer. And Mark, thank you again. Always a pleasure having you on, because the power of storytelling, something that you don't often think about, many people don't speak about, but can't emphasize it enough. It's a crucial skill, whether you're in the courtroom, the boardroom, or talking to a prospect, trying to market a product or sell a product. It's crucial. They don't teach it in school. It's something you have to learn later on in life, but it's really important. And the most interesting people that you find in life, Mark, are the best storytellers. Go out to dinner with somebody, and the people that you gravitate towards, the people that you are finding most interesting to and that you laugh along with and that you really take delight in being with, are the storytellers, right?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more.
Hey, well, we'll talk with you again soon. FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. Don't forget, LibertyMastermind.us. We're going to have 15 master storytellers there who will be telling you stories about the economy, the way it really is, and what's to come. You want to hear those stories because they will affect your life. LibertyMastermind.us. Sign up today. Thanks again, Mark. Talk to you again soon. And happy holidays. Hi, it's Kerry Lutz. I recently decided to move my retirement account into physical precious metals to hedge against the coming times. If you want to move an existing retirement account into physical precious metals, that you can hold in your hand, tax-free. There's no company that can do it more quickly and efficiently than Regal Assets. It took them just 24 hours to open my new IRA account, and all I had to do was fill out one simple form. The best part is that Regal Assets does all the work for you. They cover the setup and administrative costs for 2013. If you're interested in making the same move I did, call 855-678-6620, 855-678-6620. That's 855-678-6620, or visit them at regalassets.com. You'll be glad you did, and tell them Kerry sent you. Our friend Tom Dyson at the Palm Beach Letter is giving away free copies of a really cool report he put together called How to Protect Yourself from America's New Secret Police. Inside, you'll learn all sorts of simple, everyday tricks you can use to make yourself a little less visible and vulnerable to scammers, hackers, and even the federal government. For instance, inside Tom's report, you'll learn which free internet email service never to use. This company doesn't care if your account gets hacked or not, or things the government must tell you if they request your social security number, and how to spot skimmers lying in wait on ATMs and gas pumps, and much, much more. These tricks and secrets are low-hanging fruit ideas. You don't have to invest time or much money into them. Most are free. But by taking some basic measures, you can make your privacy much harder to invade than your neighbors. Tom's report is available for a limited time to listeners who take a trial subscription to his newsletter. Just visit the Financial Survival Network homepage for more information, or go to www.palmbeachletter2.com. That's www.palmbeachletter2.com.
The Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.